Hello! It's been way too long, and I don't think anybody remembers what happened.
Nope.
I need to get better at fixing that, but my schedule does not make that easy.
It's gonna get even
So,
weirder. Don't worry about it. Let's keep going.
wait, what?
Nothing. Just what do we got?
Yes. Um, Last session for Shiori, she finally got a chance to meet and greet with the Queen, Dragon Queen here.
Mm-hmm.
She learned that the Dragon Queen was not some vicious person or rather that she was actually fairly nice and was close friends to her fairly quickly. She also met with a few other people around town, including what appeared to be Spider Seamstress' mother. And we ended the session last time with the Dragon Queen saying that she was going to send two other people with them when the boat heads back to Rufone and Nipari in the next couple days. So Shiori is aware of two other Kuchigami folks that don't appear as animal, so that they can blend in better with the humans from the mainland, that are going to be heading this way to meet up with Lowo and the rest of the crew so that you can get on the boat and head back home. And the plan is they're going to sail back to Patahachi so that they can basically drop you off where they found you, and then they're going to move on to Rufone because it's been deemed that it's too much of a risk to really try to deal with Patahachi, considering that there seems to be folks there that don't like them. Or at least that's the Queen's impression from what she was told by Lowo. So they're going to go and go investigate elsewhere. And hopefully be a little bit more, shall we say, stealthy about it this time around. That said, last session ended with a dinner date with the Queen that got slightly interrupted by this would be the third bear man person that Shiori would have met, comes charging into the docking town, and once he gets at least somebody's attention, mostly Shiori's, he just collapses onto the ground. And we're going to start up this session with Shiori checking in on him to see what was wrong. This is still technically at night, because you just had dinner with the Queen. And I will put a token for Mr. Dude. That'll be the same as all the other Kuchigami tokens. Right there. Boop.
Alright, remind me which Mr. Dude this is?
This is it's another bear type individual.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't really know anything about him other than he came into the town calling for help, and you just happen to be the closest person to get to him first. Plus you're fast and...
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and he's just another bear individual. Now, I would inform you, you do have your handy-dandy new trait that you recently learned that allows you to take 10s on treat injury without having to roll.
Yep.
And if I recall, your treat injury skill is currently at 19.
It is indeed a 19.
So you rolling and failing is very, very unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
But
me taking a 10 and failing is almost impossible.
Yes. You taking a 10 and you taking a 10 means you're going to get it regardless.
Mhm.
However, there is still the option for you to roll it because there will be few scenarios where you're going to require like a 30 or a 32, and you can't quite get that just taking a 10 yet.
I'm going to assume that you're not going to telegraph any of those, are you?
Probably. I'll try not to. I probably will anyway because I'm horrible at keeping
I would
secrets.
actually prefer if you did, but that's up to you whether you want to play it that way or not. But yeah, I mean, I found secret stuff by getting a good roll every now and then, so I'm actually gonna roll this one.
You're gonna roll this one? All right.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and roll it then.
All right.
All right. So you only rolled a 3.
Yeah, that's about right. Per usual.
But as was said, you ultimately can't fail. And even in a situation where 30 would be required, you're pretty much going to be guaranteed to get at least something. So, because there's not going to be any there's going to be no way I'm going to give you no information on a treat injury check that's a 20, and that's you nat wanting. So
yeah.
But getting a 22, this person, it appears as if the primary cause of his collapse is exhaustion because he's been running for a while, at least what it appears to be for a while for him. And you also notice that he has quite a few cuts and bruises of he has basically cuts and bruises all over him, but not in a way that appears to be. It appears he took the hits well when he did get the hits. It's just it's also there.
Okay.
And he's basically completely fatigued, out of breath, and it's just fell to the ground as soon as you got up there. As soon as he made the call out and noticed that somebody was coming, he just collapsed. All right. So, what is your what are you going to do, having come up to him first? Because since you're fast, I'm going to give you a little bit for you to.
Yeah. So first thing I'm gonna want to do is heal. Gonna do mass heal, like the big heal that I have.
Okay. That should be relatively easy for you to cast, if I recall.
Mm-hmm. You said his injuries aren't severe, right?
No. The actual injuries that he has aren't really all that severe.
Okay.
It's just, it appears he's shall we say, weathered the storm.
All right, I'm gonna use my 3rd rank.
All right.
All right. Let's see, DC 25, and it is a roll. It's a +5.
You got mastery in rank 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's your ninjutsu at a +5 to make a DC 25?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. What is your ninjutsu?
18.
So 23. So yeah, you should be fine. You still need to roll it, but you ultimately shouldn't fail.
That's what you say, but not 20.
There we go. All right. So you go into medic mode quite immediately, and it's just like spark, and yeah.
Yeah. And I'm also going to yeah. No. That's good. Yeah, I'm gonna like check him over for anything else. Like, he's exhausted. He probably needs some water. So.
Yeah. Your crazy nat 20 heal does wake him up though.
I may kick Shadow Clone to go grab me some water.
That's, I mean,
like,
you can.
The best thing too is just like, oh yeah, I can just like, look, there's 6 of me now. Boop 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 boop. Now I have all the things I need. And that is, what is it? Perform is a DC 20 ninjutsu.
I think so, yeah.
2+2 per additional clone. I'm gonna do 3 clones.
Okay.
Alright. And that is mastery +5 as well, so that's an auto pass.
Yeah. I figured. I thought you could auto cast Shadow Clones.
I can.
Yeah. So, Spark, big heal. He wakes up and he's like blinking awake just in time to see that there's like 3 of you. And then
there's 3 extra of me that are running off to do stuff.
4 of you, 3 of which go running off to do stuff. And then he's you okay? You're not who I expected to see. I knew that the queen had come here and she was. Who are you?
I'm Shiori. I'm visiting. Are you all right?
Yeah. Now. That was. Okay. So yeah, we need somebody to go back out up north to the village up that way had been attacked. It was another one of those elemental things. The one hunter guy, he's supposed to be coming along to fight it, but I don't know how quickly he's going to get there, and I just came this way because I knew that the queen was supposed to be visiting down here, and she would have the crew that was on the ship, and there might be somebody powerful, and then you come with water, and he's like, yes, water.
I'm actually going to cast Panacea as well.
What's that one do?
Instantly cure the touched creature and dispel all blindness, daze, deafness, disease, exhaustion, fatigue, nausea, paralysis, poison, and stun effects. In addition, the target will be cured of all temporary ability damage to a single ability score and 1d4 point of permanent ability damage or ability drain to the same score. Target also gains 2d4 plus 1 temp hit points. Does not affect negative levels. If the user is under effect of If the user is under an effect of a condition named above or suffers ability damage or ability drain, they suffer a -10 penalty to perform checks and skill threshold.
So, basically, a Pokemon full heal.
Pretty much.
I should have known that. Duh, that's what it's called in some RPG games. So you hit him with that, and what's that look like anyway?
That is a DC 30 though, so I'm gonna have to roll that one. I can't take 10 on this, can I?
No.
That's not gonna put me at
Take
30
10
anyway.
Take 10 would assume you're spending time on it, and you're probably doing this much more quickly. So
3?
There you go.
And that costs me 12. Yeah, so that just looks like her that kind of looks the same as her like the rest of her healing stuff. It's like this like this crackle of like sort of a greenish blue lightning, and she just basically like brushes her hands together, and like the sparks of it come off her like between her hands, like it arcs for a moment, and then she just does the like that she just like touches him.
It's very much like the defibrillator that we always compare to.
I mean, yeah, kinda.
Yeah. Okay. He shakes his head and blinks a few more times, and it's What was... I feel
I
much
noticed
better, thank you.
I noticed you were a little fatigued.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I, I can actually get back into the fight now.
I would rest if I were you, but if you must.
Uh, there's probably more capable in the hunter. Is he might be up there. I can at least lead you there. Thank you.
Let's talk with the queen first. She intended to have me go elsewhere, but
Uh, uh, yeah. Okay.
all right.
And you move on down to go talk to the queen then.
Mm-hmm.
I had made her disappear, but there she is.
Yeah, there she is. Hello, Your Majesty.
Um, so you find her. This is you basically ran off to check on him at the end of the like little dinner thing, and she knows you're a medic, so she knows that you're fairly capable to help him, though she didn't quite expect the big flash of chakra, and then all of a sudden the guy's up and standing and walking again. But um, she sees you coming, and you do have she speaks to you, and it seems the danger, the beast that I told you about before, you're going to get a chance to meet after all.
What's that? I'm sorry, say again.
If you recall, last session when she looked through your memories a little bit and saw that you had a particular like disposition to not wanting to kill. She mentioned that there were creatures, beings that existed on this continent that would attack villages that were much more like animals than human, and were not necessarily someone that you could, motivate into not attacking anymore. And it appears you've gotten used to sort of judging her body language a little bit because she's been a little bit more open to you. And actually, give me sense motive. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
You have sense motive anyway, so.
I do. It's not great.
Ultimately, the DC for it was a 15 anyway, so you're good.
Oh, well, good. I made it.
So you, based on how you've seen her, like the look in her eyes she gets when she looks over someone's memories a little bit, just to see what happened, you can tell that she did this with the bear guy that just walked in with you, just to see what had possibly happened to him. And she's mentioning about the beast that she had talked about before, and it basically seems like to you that she assumes that the attack he's talking about is an attack from one of these beasts, which is technically not a beast, it's an elemental, but still. She's basically, in no short phrases, giving you permission to go and help him because she knows you probably want to do that.
Yeah, I do.
It's also noted that you're going to be leaving in a couple of days, not not in any direct fashion. So I don't know what it was you were thinking that she wanted you else to do other than wait to leave. So she hasn't given you any direct missions as far as I'm aware. Not that I remember.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, she's basically just going to say, so is it alright if I go and help out with this situation?
You may. It's most of the fights with those creatures do end up with a lot of people hurt. No one's killed, fortunately, but a lot of people do get hurt. A competent and strong medic would be useful, I'm sure. Not only that, but you're fairly powerful, so you might be able to help in the fight as well.
All right, then.
All right. And you turn back to the bearman that had come charging down, and it's up north in just outside Dibasana, which is Dibasana. Look, Dibasana. That. There we go.
Okay.
It is apparently the name of a village. And
all right.
So you would go out to follow him, and just as you go out to travel with him, I feel like I wasn't even in that fight. What kind of healing magic do you have anyway?
It's just something my mom taught me.
Oh. Also, it's worth noting that unlike the other bear folks that you have you've met previously, whose the fur on the backs of their hands had always been black, his is brown instead of black, but it's still the same placement, same sort of coarse hair, but it's just a slightly different color. And he does also have claws that he's making sure all of his physical capabilities match how he feels, because it's very strange to him to be healed so quickly and so seemingly effortlessly. Okay. Well, Dibasana is not that far, but it is quite a bit of a walk. You seem fairly capable, I'm sure. A little less than just about a day trek. You want to sleep first, maybe? I mean, it's dark. I know the area, but I don't know about you.
Yeah, sleeping might be a good idea. As oh my goodness, as effortless as I made all that look, that did take a good chunk of my chakra to do, so.
Chakra, right. You're one of the ninja types. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That makes more sense. Okay. Keeping in mind, Shiori is aware that ninja types aren't necessarily that common on this continent.
I am aware, yes.
Yeah.
But it's not...
He was...
That's just how she would communicate with another person, like...
Yeah,
it's okay
yeah,
if she has to explain what chakra is, but she's just telling him, yeah, that took a bit out of me. So.
Right, and he knows that. It's just... He was using that to piece together that sort of information. It appears pretty quickly to Shiori that he doesn't necessarily know a whole lot about that sort of a thing. But yeah. Okay. So we'll rest up. I'll keep lookout. You can get some rest. And I'll continue to lead the way there first thing in the morning, then?
Yeah, yes, please.
Okay. And then you two of you make just like a small, simple camp, probably using a lot of the same provisions you usually carry with you for most of your own missions. So, I mean, you have that sort of stuff with you anyway, so...
Mm-hmm.
Even though he doesn't really seem to have a whole lot on him, for that, you do. So you're able to make just a small little camp.
All right.
Roll for me if you would. You can do spot, yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, just which one?
It was going to be spot before you lay down, and probably listen as well, just to sort of get a lay of the land. You don't necessarily know this area very well either, so.
Spot check and listen. Ouch.
Gotcha. Okay. Alrighty. So 14 and an 8. Looking around, it seems like that, as you get further away from like the docking town itself, you're starting to see like this scattered set of trees, and it looks like as you look further into the horizon, you see that there's probably a forest a good ways off. It's possible that the village may be near or in a forest, and that seems to be the direction that he's heading you into. But otherwise, you don't really hear or see anything of note.
Okay.
You get some rest. I don't know how rested you get, but I think you did pick up. You recently picked up light sleeper, so
I did.
That's useful.
Yeah. I recover all of my chakra, right, from that.
Oh yeah, you do. Yeah.
Okay. Back to 7.
You get all your chakra back. Yep.
Nice.
You got a full rest. And it's not even. It was probably late, like 11 midnight, when he came into the village, and you traveled for maybe an hour and a half before he got the better idea of maybe it's best to rest. And then you lay down for what is supposed to be for the night, and you wake up at sunup at 6, and he's like, "Wait, what?" So you wake up raring to go, and you're good, and he's like sitting next.
You don't know Shiori very well. Let me remind you.
Oh yeah, coffee.
This girl is like cannot function without coffee.
That's right. I forgot. You do have your coffee though.
I do have coffee again. It's brilliant. So,
but
yeah,
you do wake up.
Coffee.
Yep. And he just sitting there keeping a lookout. He was looking away from camp more than like to what you were doing, and then he just sort of coffee? You have I was expecting you to be asleep a little longer, considering we left at like what, midnight? But okay.
I'm fine. I just need some coffee.
Yeah, okay.
You're welcome to have some.
Oh, yeah. You're you ninja types are much stronger than the rest of us. But okay.
In some ways.
All right. So.
In some ways, I wish. I don't know. I wish it could be a little more like yours.
I don't have any cool magic. All I have is claws. So.
Yeah.
And trust me, they weren't that effective against that elemental thing.
Maybe not everyone needs to be in the fight.
Yeah.
Maybe people should just maybe chill out on the fighting altogether.
I would be okay with that, actually.
So would I.
But sometimes you have to.
How far is where we need to be?
Looking at probably another maybe 4 or 5 hours if you push it. How fast can you run?
I can be pretty quick on my feet.
Okay. All right. Well, if you think you can keep up, I got a pretty fast trick myself, so I'll lead the way and we'll get there as quick as we can. I don't know what that creature's done at this point, or even if the hunter showed up. I hope he showed up. He'd at least slow it down. Alright, well, he actually chuckles, and you see him, like, crack his knuckles. And then he gets into a stance that you are fairly familiar with.
All right.
And then you see, you sense it because you know chakra and things. You sense like a slight flare of chakra, similar to the way that chakra was on Chin Chin, the little monkey boy.
Yeah.
And he, kind of like a cat with retractable claws. Chin Chin, not Tin Tin, Chin Chin. Yeah, that. There you go. So it's almost like this retractable claws thing, and he grows the same kind of claws that he had on his hands at his feet, which you realize now he's actually been barefoot the whole time. Ha, pun. And
I don't get
he
it.
then, because he's a bear, barefoot bear. Anyway,
I don't get it.
Sure. He then goes into charging on all fours. He's in quadruped like Sume does.
Yeah. I assumed.
So he goes charging all forward ahead of you, but he turns back every so often to make sure you're still able to keep up. And he makes his way sort of in a northeastern type of direction. And I'm assuming you give chase. All right.
Yep, I'm gonna do like the what is it? Speed of lightning.
All right. And so you're making your way, keeping up, keep track of. I think most of those moves you can do without having to roll, if I recall. You're pretty capable of keeping up with him. I mean, you kept up with Chin Chin, and Chin Chin was much faster. So at least as a whole, Chin Chin was much faster. And even before you get there to the actual, what would be the actual fight, you hear and see just on the edges of the tree line what sounds like, effectively, it sounds like a hurricane. It's like that strong wind gushed sound, and you see that The trees at the edges of the tree line are swaying like mad, and there is what appears to be a very concentrated storm, or what appears to be a storm,
Cool.
like directly ahead of wherever it is you're going.
Cool.
And then when you get there, you are presented with. Ignore that elemental looks more like a water elemental. I couldn't find an air elemental. Meh. And most of your tokens look the same, but that's okay. So he comes charging up and skids to a halt, and you see what looks like, for all intents and purposes, a living hurricane that is up here. And it has...
Okey-dokey.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Dubbed a living typhoon in the book. But anyway. And you see a few folks, other animal types that are over on this side. They seem to be keeping their distance at this point. Just from a cursory glance over them, none of them appear to be hurt, and they're all focusing their attention on this thing. And next to, very close to said elemental, at a cursory glance, it appears to be someone who is wearing armor, like somewhat like Lolo's armor thing at first, and then you get a closer look and you realize it's much closer to like a bug's carapace exoskeleton thing that he's got going on, and he's wielding two blades in a very sort of dual katana, but not katanas. He's got this whole dual bladed fashion, and he's just staring this creature down. Yeah.
Question.
Uh-huh.
I'm aware that these elemental creatures aren't sapient, right?
Right. You were told this.
Okay. It is another fish ghost, Ellen.
It's another fish ghost. It is not a fish ghost. It is not a fish of any sort.
Alright.
Alright. So I am going to then get us a initiative thing set up here.
My initiative's still abysmal, but
yeah,
I can do something about that.
Whoa, nice. Okay. You can roll your
19.
Alright. So, and because you had said something about keeping from the fight, the bear person charges over to check up on and look over these people here, so he's not going to roll initiative at the moment. So you do actually get your turn behind the Ghost of Windfish. Okay, no.
The Ghost of Windfish, yes.
Alright. So for the opening turn, yeah. Let's see if the wind person hits Armory Bug Boy that's in front of him. Bop. Pretty sure that hits him. Yes, it does. And then it's his D8. Surprisingly, it's not a lot of damage, thankfully. Boop. Alright.
Alright.
And then, that's easy math. Alright. So, Mr. Bug, or what appears to be bug of some sort, he gets smacked by the arm of this elemental seems to take the blow rather effectively. And then, and actually, you see that he is very bugged because he has, like beetle wings. And he gets up into the air and flies into the center of this thing to strike at said elemental thing. Do you hit? That hit it? It's a crappy roll. No, it does not. Wow. Okay. So he flies up to charge into this thing, and it just sort of swings with the wind hurricane in just the right way to like throw off his aim of his flight, and he sort of does a somersault in the air and ends up over here. But he's still flying, thankfully.
Okay.
Into Shiori.
Okay. Alright. So he slashed at it with his swords, right?
Yeah.
And that did damage?
He did not hit it, so you're not entirely sure. But he seemed to be striking at it melee and had a degree of confidence about him that said, yes, he would be able to hit it with that.
Yeah, this'll work. Okay. Okay, then in that case, I'm going to have my Kuchigami, and I'm going to Alright, so lightning displacement.
Okay.
So I'm well within range. I auto-cast, and costs me 6 chakra, and does 4d6 points of electricity damage.
Okay.
I'm just gonna... What the fuck happened there?
Why'd you go backwards?
I don't know. I'm gonna teleport to here.
Alright.
Do my 4d6 of electrical. 4d6. Yeah. And reflex half.
Mm-hmm.
It's 14 damage.
That's not bad for 46. Let's see. What is the DC that he needs, that the elemental needs to make?
Reflex save. It's.
Yeah.
I don't know how to calculate that.
What is your rank for lightning? What is lightning displacement's rank? What is
Rank
lightning
5.
displacement? Rank 5. And your intelligence, because it's a ninjutsu, your intelligence is plus 3?
Yep.
So 5 and 3 is 18. Yep. Alright, so your reflex save thingy thing, boop. Okay.
Alright. And now that I'm here, I'm going to... Oh, God. Yeah, that's fast. So he takes 7 damage. And now that I'm here, I'm probably going to Celestial Arc.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna pop him.
So do you have to roll to perform Celestial Arc?
I unfortunately do, because it's DC 22.
Yep.
And just close. Oh, that's what I did. Okay, that's fine. That's pass.
That's pass.
And 66.
And what's Celestial Arc's rank?
It is 8.
9, 10, 11, so 21. Alright. Reflex for half. Got that.
Half of 25, which is
12.
12.
Yep. And then fort. So half damage and not stunned.
Okay.
But he did get zapped for 12.
12 and 7 is 19 damage so far.
Yep. Okay, so having just been zapped with electricity twice, Mr. Elemental Dude is now focused on you. And the bug individual that was flying looks over to where the electricity came from and it's like, the hell? What? Great. I'd back off, kid. And then as he says that, here comes the slam from the elemental thing. And you are the wow, crappy. Does 24 hit you?
Does a 24 hit me?
Uh-huh.
It does.
Alright.
I like this bug guy. I just like pop in a shower of like sparks and crackling lightning and then slam it with another burst of like electrical energy, and he's just like, good show, kid. Like, come on.
Yeah, pretty much. You get hit for 7.
Hey, get hit for 7. Yay. Do I get a save?
No, because he just punched you with air.
Okay. So I need to know palms.
Do what?
So I need to know trigram techniques. It's all judo. You could just deflect.
Alright. Okay. So he sort of looks at you and gazing all this chakra stuff that you've launched at it, and okay, so maybe you are capable, but look, lightning isn't going to work. If you really want to hurt this thing, you have to use this. And he like palm taps the edge of his blades, and you see this surge of chakra a little bit, and then his blades get covered in ice. And then he launches into another attack to the thing.
Does that mean I need to hit it with ice damage?
No. I mean, it's not immune to lightning. You did hit it, and you did hurt it.
Yeah.
So, it's just
Does
that
it
it seems...
it's weak to chakra weapons?
Perhaps.
Perhaps. Well, guess what the fuck I have?
Alright. So, he is going to launch his attack on it again. And this will be... Good grief, dude. You're rolling a d6. You don't want to get showed up by a kid.
4.
You have the... No, you don't. Okay, so he flashed his swords and looked all awesome and cool, but he still got launched away again. Now he's over here, and his swords are all flashy and icy.
Let me ask you a really stupid question.
Uh-huh.
So, Thunderblade disappears when I let go, or Thunder Sword disappears when I release it.
Mm-hmm.
Can I pass it to myself without it disappearing?
The reason Thunderblade disappears by the nature of a move like that, the reason Thunderblade disappears is because it's not connected to the person who made its chakra. For all intents and purposes, your shadow clones count as independent copies of you. Mm-hmm. So, yes, you can.
Shit, yes. Okay, then I'm gonna make a couple of shadow clones.
The shadow clone does take a full round action, so.
Yeah, I know.
Okie dokie.
I'm gonna make a couple of shadow clones. Let's see. Hold on. Maximum 1 per level. How much chakra do I have? How much of this bullshit can I get away with? I can currently make 12 of them. That's gonna be a lot of chakra. gonna be 24 chakra,
Yeah.
and then I can put swords in 5 of their hands, so I think I'm gonna make 3 of them again. So 6 chakra is 3 shadow clones.
Alright.
So there are now 4 of me.
Where do you want to place them in relation to you?
Here, here, and here.
Something like that?
Somewhere in that, yeah.
Alright.
This one, actually.
Okay. And that's
Okay.
a full round action, isn't
That's
it?
full round action.
Okay. So... Yeah. I know Mr. Elementally thingy is going to try to do. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So, he's going to go for you again. You're just barely okay. You don't even have a 20 in your armor class yet. Okay. So this sort of amorphous tornado being thing amasses hands and grabs the Shiori that's directly in front of it. I don't know if it's still Shiori Prime. I guess
This is Shiori Prime, but she's just like, hey.
And yeah, you're now being grappled by a hurricane. I was now to the big guy, and the bug guy, and he sees that you've been picked up. Shit. And he just sort of holds his swords over his head and flies directly at him again with his double sword thing he's got going on.
Mm-hmm.
And he is going to do something slightly different than what he's technically been doing to try to give him a better chance to actually hit this thing. 6. Alright. Will he hit this thing, Bop? You don't want to be showed up by a kid, and you also don't want to fail. So, once again, because you have them. Bop. That should be... Yes. Thank you. Finally. That does just barely hit. Yay. Throughout the fact that you are grappled and being held by a hurricane, the temperature of the wind that has picked you up suddenly gets several degrees colder for a moment. And, yeah, damage from said blades. 2d6 plus... Bop. Really? Okay. At least that's easy math. Alright. Rather. Yeah. Okie dokie. You get several degrees colder, you're still trapped in a hurricane. So what is Shiori and Shiori's going to do?
That's a good question.
Alright, I forgot his bonus. Whoops. Because he did activate that. Not a whole lot, but it's something. Bop. Oh, cool. Yay. There we go. Okay, continue.
Alright then. Can I escape?
You can try.
Lightning teleport?
That would work.
Yeah.
As long
I'm
as...
just gonna flash
As long
out
as light...
and
does
back
lightning-
on top of it.
Does lightning teleport require hand signs or mobility?
Well, I don't need hand signs to perform. It is... Component is somatic components.
Okay, then yeah.
Or S, whichever one that is. I don't think that's hand signs.
S is half seals. So it the same as hand signs. It's just it can be performed with only one hand if you're like holding a weapon or something.
What if I have the thing that lets me do that already?
Do you have a thing that does that?
Yeah, I have the feat that lets me do half seals with everything. Hand seal proficiency.
All right. Sure. I'll take it that you can do it without having to do hand signs.
Cool. I'm just
because it's half seals.
Let's do this. So yeah. Yeah.
Shiori Prime is going to teleport away from being trapped inside of this thing.
Yep, and I'm just gonna teleport right here. Back where I was. So I just blink out of its hand and back in front of it and do another 4d6.
Yeah. I'm not gonna give its reflex. It has no way to like try to get out of that.
Yeah.
So.
Suck it.
All right. And then that is. All right. So what's other?
This is bullshit. Can I make a full round action to create thunder swords for everybody, for all of my clones?
And lightning displacement was a move action, so you would still have an attack action.
Oh yeah, I couldn't do a full round action. That's right.
Yeah, you couldn't do a full round action anyway.
I'll make one for myself then.
Yeah.
Okay. That's an auto cast. It's 18.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, let's see. Deal 1d6 points of electricity damage plus 1 point per 3 levels of the user. Maximum plus 5. Doesn't apply strength mod for damage. Attacks are made as a melee touch attack. And it is currently 1d6 plus 4 weapon for me.
Yep. Alright, but you've made them. You can't attack with them, but you made them.
I made all of them, or I made one?
You made one. Yeah, sorry. One for yourself. And you got out of his binds.
Yeah.
Alright, so it's his turn. You disappeared from his hands. He is going to whirl in a circle to try to figure out where it is you went. And, because
there's only 4 of me. I mean,
yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
Shiori doesn't like play for keeps very often, but this time, like,
the bug person is 5. Boop. Okay. So he's going to whirl. The elemental is going to whirl around, trying to figure out precisely where it was that you went, because you zapped it and it hurt, and you're not where you thought it was, and is going to end up smacking trying to smack the bug guy again.
Okay.
Hey. Okay.
Not
then.
bad. It's for him to hit the bug guys.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Wow. Max damage.
Ow.
Alright.
Max damage?
Max. Or, no, it's not max damage because it's D8, not D6. Never mind.
I was like, that's not a D6.
I keep thinking it's a D6 because it's plus 6 dyslexia, but anyway. Alright. So it has been him. And he is going to once again try to strike at this thing because it's now hit him. And you actually hit. You'll keep needing action points. Stop that. Why is all my NPC characters rolling for crap? There we go. And then you can now get your actual normal damage because you didn't do power attack this time. Bop. There we go. That's more like it. And then 6. Yeah. Alrighty. Shiori's in the plural.
Yeah. Now can I take a 4-round action to do that thing?
Yes. Especially
Alright.
considering you have already made some.
Yeah, so that cost... Hold on, that cost me 8. This is gonna cost me every bit of chakra, isn't it? They're 8
Meh.
apiece, so...
Yeah, it's gonna take you quite a bit of chakra.
Okay, then.
Sheesh.
Cool. So I'm using my 4-round action to give the other Shioris lightning, thunder swords.
That's your full action. They've held their turn, so
I know.
they technically could get 2.
Yeah. So this one's gonna run up and attack. This one's gonna run up and attack, and this one's already in space to attack.
Yep.
All right. So you said it's a melee. It's a melee touch attack. So that's plus 10.
That's just
for that.
it's your standard melee attack. The reason it's a touch attack is it's going off of the elemental's touch instead of their armor.
Ah, I see. Okay. So that is. Pick this back up. Then. That is 10 for each of them.
Yep.
So it's a 12 for the first one. For
That's a miss.
this one, Beta, Delta,
Miss.
and Charlie.
Wow. That's crazy crap.
I
But
burnt
okay.
a ton of chakra. I'm a little woozy, okay?
Fair. That was their first turn. Their held action to get the swords.
Uh-huh.
I'll give them another attack because it would be their normal. Sure, why not? You spend a ton of chakra. Swing again with all 3.
Okay. At full bonus?
Yeah.
Alright. Ouch. A 28, a 23,
Well-
and an 11.
Well, the 11 missed,
Okay, figures.
but the other 2 hit.
Alright. So, Delta, you're grounded. Alright, the others hit?
Yep.
Alright, and that is 1d6 plus 4 each.
Yep. And it is labeled as lightning damage, right?
It is...
Should be.
Electricity damage, yeah.
Yep. Okay.
On a successful hit, if they are carrying a large amount of metal or they're soaking wet, they must succeed a fort save DC 13 or be stunned for 1 round. That doesn't apply here, so... 10 damage and 5 damage. Max and min. Mas y menos.
Wow, look at these rolls. Good grief. Alright. Okay. It's to him. Alright. So, he just got smacked, or attempted to be smacked, quite a few times. Yeah. He's going to... He is going to go this way towards the crowd of people, and as he's charging through, he basically clotheslines at Shiori Prime and the other Shiori.
Delta Shiori? Okay.
Yeah, and he's hitting both. Or attempting to. Then, boop. I rolled that wrong. I was supposed to roll separately, but it would be over 20 for either one, so yes. Because it's plus 14 to his attack, and D20 is for his attack, so that would be either a 30-something or a 25. Both would hit Shiori.
Yes.
And then he does... Yeah. He does his damage, which is because he's doing his weird tornado rush. It's better damage than what he does normally. Double damage, 24. So Shiori Prime and Shiori Delta. How much HP does the clones have? It probably the poof.
So what do I take? 12 damage?
24 actually, because it's double damage from his tornado rush.
4. Ow.
Uh-huh.
Clones have 1 hit point per 3 levels of the user, so they currently have 4.
So yeah, poof. Also, in the final part of Tornado Rush, I rolled one last d6 there.
Yep.
And you are knocked 1d6 times 5 feet into the air. He picks you up as he goes flying by to send you flying straight up.
Brilliant.
Yep. And he's over here near these people.
Cool.
Who are all backing up, terrified. Although the bear stands guard. Closer.
Closer guard.
Yeah, something like that. Alright.
Yeah, one of the other clones is gonna look at Shiori Charlie in the back is going to look at the bug guy and Beta and go, "We'll get him."
The bug sort of looks between the two clone Shioris and the Shiori Prime that just went flying in the air, and it's like, ninjas are fucked up. And he goes flying forward with his wings to charge at the elemental thing. What is your movement, sir?
As he does, Beta's just like, "Yeah, you suck, thanks, bye."
Yeah, okay. So he's gonna charge over this way and smack. Yours is the one that was the plus 13. Are you both plus 13 and I'm just stupid? Okay, no.
Maybe.
Rawr. Hey, he hit it finally. Normally.
Is it? Ah, here we are.
Good for him. Rawr. Nice. And that is 28. And then an extra d4 because of awesomeness. Also, Shiori, roll for me a spot check.
That goes well every time. 20?
Oh yeah. Okay. So any of the mini Shioris that you have going on, whichever one you want to have be the one to spot it, even if it is the Shiori that's flying through the air currently.
Sky Shiori.
Yeah, Shiori Sky Prime. any of you see as he like charges past with his swords drawn in a very aggressive flying charge thing. He has runes on his blade that is somewhat similar to the kind of runes that the commander had on his sword before.
Okay.
But instead of having just like 2, which is what the original swords the commander had, he has 5. 2 different ones on one blade and 3 on the other. That all look ever so slightly different from each other. They look very similar, but they're slightly different from each other. You can roll Ninja Lore if you want to have a guess at what they might be. Because you did get a good solid roll there.
Ninja Lore. Alright, let me consult my ninja info cards.
Yeah, pretty much.
20. Not 20. Oh, 24.
Wow. Okay, then yeah.
Why? Why?
You can't get those when they matter. They're elemental runes. Each one being one of the 5 elements.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And you see, since you did get a nat 20 on that, you're able to discern that the rune that corresponds to ice or to cold is emitting a slight wave of chakra through your sense chakra-ness, and that's how he's got a cold sword currently.
Okay, cool.
And it is now to Shiori's turn as Shiori goes falling. Whoosh.
Shiori Prime's gonna airwalk.
Good point.
Shiori Prime's gonna airwalk. That is
that move?
That is a attack action, unfortunately.
Okay. But you can definitely slow your fall that way.
Oh, heck yeah. I don't even...
Now keep in mind...
Yeah, what?
Airwalking is just the name. You don't walk on air.
I'm aware. I know what it does. Like, I understand that, like, it gives me a plus 60 to jump checks. I assume you can make a jump check to, like, get a decent landing.
Yeah. You basically concentrate your chakra in your feet for airwalking, or for any of the jumping techniques, really, to alleviate the fall damage like a slow fall, but without the actual slow fall.
Right.
Yeah. And then you have your Shiori other 2 to do things.
Yep. Shiori Prime's basically gonna, like, land here-ish.
Oh, because she, like, goes off of her jump and... Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And while this Shiori is gonna move, let's see, 30, so 5, 10, 15, 20, and I guess they're gonna run up and attack it.
Okay.
So yeah, that's gonna be plus 10.
Yep.
For 27 to hit.
27 most certainly hits.
Plus 4, so 6. Sorry, I wasn't gonna change my advanced roller. Even though it's right there in the thing. And she's gonna run up, do the same thing. 24.
Yep.
6 plus 4, that's a 5 again. Good job, Delta. Oh, Charlie. Sorry, that's Charlie. It's always Charlie.
Yeah, it's always Charlie. Alright. Okie dokie. So that's Shiori's turn. What's Shiori Prime do when she lands over there? Does she say anything, or is she doing anything? Because you spent like I guess you technically spent like an action to do your jump. And then if we trade that off of your jump, then you could totally land all the way over there.
Yeah,
Um,
no, it's just her attack action, so she's just gonna ready her sword. Um,
Okay.
like, she's just basically, like, making a show of defending the others.
Mm-hmm. Alright. So we will have water or air elemental's turn, and he is going to swing at the Shiori that is directly in front of him, because you've dealt the most annoying. So 34.
Ow.
That certainly hits.
Does.
Poof. Because he only had 4 HP, if I recall.
Yeah.
So this Shiori gone. Boop. And then Rar go Fraggle from other dude. You're spending a full attack finally, so Rar. There we go.
Finally.
He had been like flying to try to get to it and all this, but this is when he actually did not move. So and then
7. Almost forgot about that.
and then there's that. So and then you have a Shiori again. 2 Shioris technically, but yes, Shiori again.
2 Shioris. Yeah, so... Cool. So...
Arc.
Attack. With
Hit.
Shiori Delta.
Yep.
Oh no, this isn't Delta anymore, this is Charlie.
Yeah, that's Charlie. Charlie's the last one.
Charlie hit like a truck.
Yes, Charlie hit like a truck.
Charlie continues to roll the worst, but 5 more damage.
Yep. Alright.
Here's the thing though.
Mm-hmm.
Shiori Prime. Shiori Prime is just gonna start dropping bombs. Lightning Strike.
Does that hit adjacent people?
Nope. 5 foot wide, 50 foot high cylinder of lightning.
Alrighty then. It will
When
not hit
performing
adjacent
in each round afterwards is an attack action that does not provoke an attack of opportunity. I don't need to call lightning each round, but I may perform actions instead with the technique after ends after the user calls down 1 lightning bolt per level. After the duration expires, the user brings down 1 lightning bolt per level. Technique can be used indoors or underground, but not underwater.
Blah 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 blah. So yeah.
So
Perform roll and damage.
Yeah.
Does it get flex?
Reflex half.
Of course.
That's pass.
Yep.
What is it? 5d6 damage.
What's rank on said thing for DC purposes?
Each lightning bolt deals 5d6 points of electricity damage, halved with reflex. If it's used outdoors in stormy conditions, they deal 5d8 instead of 5d6. What's the weather like?
Sure. He caused the storm anyway. So yes.
Hell yeah. Alright. So that is 5d8?
Or rather, he didn't cause a storm. He is a storm. So.
Oh, he is a storm. Oh, well, guess what, buddy?
I mean, when's the last time you saw a hurricane and a tornado without any kind of lightning? So.
Bang.
All right.
Reflex
So,
half.
right. And it's, what is the rank for lightning thing? So I can get the DC?
That is a 7.
So your DC is 20 because your intelligence is +3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He just barely made that. That's awesome.
He barely made it? Okay, well he still takes 14 fucking damage.
Yeah, he does. And he is sort of hurting at this point. He is very damaged. Very, very damaged. But he is a beast, and yeah, he's gonna whirl around and slam at Shiori, Charlie, and Bug Guy because they're closest. And he's going to do it with his other thing because he's trying to go this way to get away. So, bop. For Shiori Prime, or Shiori Delta, she's hit because you don't have 20. Nice! Bug Guy gets out of the way ever so barely. Okay. And then Shiori Charlie poofs, goes flying into the air and poof.
Yeah, that's okay.
The bug person sort of looks at the storm and looks at you. He's still flying, like he's got this sort of beetle thing as he's up in the air.
I just imagine at this point she's so jacked up on lightning energy because she's like done lightning teleport a bunch. She's got like the Thunderblade in her hand. She's got this like massive collection of electrical energy that she's just about to drop like once a turn on this thing, and her like she's doing that Raiden thing where her eyes are just like glowing, like that electric white and like crackling, and she's just got like steam rising off of her because it's probably a little chilly here. So
of course. The people that
compared to like the bottled sunlight that's like charged inside of her.
Yeah, really. And the people behind you are just like in awe, basically, of your sparks and everything else. And he sort of just looks back to the elemental that's sort of trying to get away, and you up into the sky, and well, all right then. You want to finish it off? Go for it. He's going to hold his action until after your turn, assuming you don't kill it.
She's gonna look from him to the elemental and just go, if it's leaving, we don't need to kill it.
It'll be back. It'll charge back up.
There's no...
Killing it doesn't... fine. And then he's charges to hit it.
Okay.
He missed. So it gets away. It's a bit too fast for him, and it's flying to get away. It's going in towards the trees. Shiori's turn.
She's gonna look at the bear guy and say, you really think it'll come back?
I mean, probably. That's what these creatures do. They destroy things. And if it's not defeated and dispersed, it doesn't exactly die. It doesn't leave a carcass behind. It's not... I don't know. I mean...
19.
It's trying to run. So, I'm not going to give its reflex. And, yeah. That's just enough. Actually, a little over enough. So, you zap it. There's a wail that sounds akin to a mixture of a standard scream. Not a human scream. It's a very guttural sort of scream. But it's also higher pitch because it's got the sound of like the howling wind and all that sort of mixed in with it. And then it and it disperses and it's gone. And as I said, it doesn't leave anything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, bear in mind, if you want to roll wisdom to see if you remember, this isn't the first time Shiori's fought an elemental.
No, it isn't. Do I really have to roll for that?
Do you still have the thing with you? Do you still kind of carry it on you?
No, I don't. It's back at the house.
Okay, then. I mean, you sort of looked into it a little bit, so yeah, you don't have to. If you, the player, remembers, so
I absolutely remember. Yeah.
yeah.
That's still one of Shiori's like uncompleted side quests. It's actually something I consider quite often for her.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah. Like
Cool.
I want her to be like that's why she started learning Fuinjutsu, is to be able to like
Gotcha.
do that.
All right, so it disappears, and unlike the last elemental you fought, there's no like core or anything that it leaves behind. It actually doesn't leave anything behind, as they said it wouldn't. It just disperses, and it's like the chakra that was making it up and holding it together just ceases to exist. And it's just and it's gone. Oh, and thankfully the trees calmed down, if not for the storm that you have still going.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, she's just gonna let that disperse.
Yep. Once it's gone and it's dispersed, you actually get surprisingly, like out of nowhere, glomped from behind. One of the villagers that was watching you and was sort of mesmerized by all of your craziness just sort of tackles at you and that was really awesome. You're really powerful.
Thanks. Is anyone injured?
I'm not. I kept my distance. I can't fight like that. And she sort of backs up. It's a girl, and she's you actually see that she has both like the she's basically canine. She's got the like tuft ears. They're like folded down slightly of a dog and a dog tail.
Popper.
She's canine. Huh?
Popper.
Yeah, pupper. And actually, yeah, her tail is wagging slightly. And she's
Oh my god, you're adorable. Alright, so yeah, Shiori's just gonna like, flick the blade into the air and it vanishes as soon as it leaves her hand, like as usual. And she's gonna look at the warrior and say, "Are you alright?"
I'm fine.
You sure? I'm a healer. I can help you if you need.
You fight like that, and you're a healer too. Really?
I'm a healer by trade. I'm a fighter by necessity.
Sure. And he
Believe it or not, I'm also actually a pacifist.
he just sort of raises his eyebrow at you, like what? And getting a closer look at him, he's got the like insectoid armor thing going on.
Some bugs.
And you also realize that he may look like he's wearing armor, but he's like the armor is just as much a part of him as anything else, obviously. So he's actually not wearing a shirt. He's got pants, of course, but not a shirt. And he's just fine. Want to heal? Go for it.
Alright. So yeah. Kind of do a quick like heal check. See if he's alright. See if he's got like anything that needs attention.
Sure.
I'm just gonna take 10 on it.
Yeah. No, not really.
Not really. He's all in good shape.
He doesn't seem real fatigued or anything like that. He's got a few, like, I guess you'd call them war wounds that you can't really do anything about. He's got a scar, now that you're even closer looking at him through your little treat injury thing. He's got a scar down his left eye that sort of just cuts right through it and across the bridge of his nose. And he's got bruises that are like the way that a bruise, when it heals back, but it's like not gone, it still stays. It's basically, he's got a lot of battle scars, but other than that, he's fine.
Okay. I'm gonna actually do a thing.
Okay.
I'm gonna cast pain numbing. It's one of my secret techniques.
Okie dokie. Yep, you cast it all right.
Okay. Pain numbing. 1 full round action. 1 minute per level. Using this technique, the user is able to numb the sensation of pain in the touched creature's body. As a result of this technique, the touched creature will be able to make 1 move or attack action per round, even when they are reduced below 0 hit points and dying. While under the effect of this technique, the subject will be unaware of the damage it has taken until the effects fade, but it will also suffer a -2 penalty to Dex score and initiative checks. So they're gonna feel a little numb, but they're like, if there's any like residual pain from the from like old wounds and things like that, they're not gonna feel it for a little while.
What's your duration on that?
12 minutes. But, okay. I mean, we can say whatever.
I was just curious.
Mm-hmm.
The fuck did you do, kid?
You know, he looked a little rough.
I always look rough. That's what I do.
It's not a bad look.
Well, my job's done here. Thanks for the pick-me-up, kid.
No problem.
And he quite literally buzzes off.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes into the trees, and he's gone.
Okay.
The bear person from before is just, well, okay. I guess luck wasn't on his side today. It's a good thing you were here.
Yeah. You guys have a place to rest? I'm a little worn out. That was I might have been showing off a little bit too much.
The one village person that you hadn't talked to yet, sort of, they actually tap you on the shoulder, and you turn around and you see that it's another spider type.
Oh, good.
I
like
though
them.
this one only has, similar to the one you met on the boat, the seamstress, multiple eyes and fangs. Doesn't have multiple arms. And this is a guy. And you can rest.
So as soon as she turns around and sees him, she just gives him like a genuine like smile.
You get a I guess, how would an eyebrow raise work with someone with multiple eyes? Do they have multiple eyebrows?
I
don't think they do. They kind of do. So it's like the whole left side of his face is just like, yeah. You can. We got a place that you can rest. Come on.
I appreciate it.
And the pupper girl just, yeah, we'll lead you. Come on. All right. Give me a spot check, and you'll be led to a house for something that you're going to see along the way, and you're actually going into what appears to be the village proper.
19? Is that decent enough? It's above
Oh, yeah,
my
yeah,
usual
yeah.
garbage.
Yep. You see, like, just on the edge of the, like, town itself, it's sort of, you come to what looks like sort of like a village gate of sorts, and just to the side of it, there is a little structure that looks kind of like a mini shrine. You know, there's the games that say you have to meet up with, like, go on pilgrimage and see these little shrines that are sometimes out in the middle of nowhere for, like, a religious deity or some such. It's like those. It's basically a little religious, almost religious shrine that's next to the village gate. And there is something that there's a rune, a glyph on this that you did see that I am going to have you roll wisdom for, because I don't know how much. Well, how much does Shiori keep? Shiori seems to like spidery people, so maybe. Remember when you were inside the cave when you way back in a session that wasn't even recorded? And Ryan was still with you. You and Ryan,
the spider guy.
Yeah, that, like, tunnel that was like the spider summoner and all that mess.
Yeah, I tried to make friends.
You did. You failed, but you did. You recognize the glyphs that are on this shrine that look similar to the kinds of patterns that the webs had in this guy's little cave.
Oh, that's cool.
So, for all intents and purposes, it looks kind of like a little mini spider shrine.
Neat.
Um,
Can I go and, like, look at it closer? Is there anything else to it other than that?
You can look at it closer if you want. The spider fellow that you meet sort of just looks at you, and he's something interests you about that, huh?
Oh, I met someone in my homeland that had some of this and some of these symbols, and it just caught my eye.
All right. Well, it's a religious shrine for us, if you must know. So perhaps
I'd like to learn a bit more about that if at some point.
Maybe. And the little pupper girl that's with him, or with you two, she's still sort of bobbing a bit excitedly, and he's like, however, it seems as if my girlfriend wants us to take you home first. We'll talk about that later.
Alright. My name's Shiori, by the way.
Yeah. And he will give you names for them too. The new bear friend is Lineja. Pupper is Shidiga, and new spider person is Leshani. That might actually be of interest to Shiori too, ever so slightly, because he just called it's a spider guy calling a pupper girl his girlfriend.
Yeah. It's cute.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to learn about spider gods. And
spider gods and culture.
Helping with stuff and learn about spider gods.
Once you have um, little talk with or talk at the little shrine that's roughly on the outskirts of town. They will lead you into Divasana proper.
Oh, cute.
hmm
And this is the little spider shrine?
Once you've sort of looked over the shrine a little bit, Lishani and Shidiga sort of lead you to their little house that's actually relatively close to the shrine, which is over here.
Which is, yes. Okay.
Yep.
Oops.
There we go.
It's okay, she's probably just clinging to me.
A little bit. And when you head up that way, the Shawnee sort of just decides that the Lineja actually goes off to do his own thing. Sort of as you get up to the shrine, he kind of walked off and went and did his own thing. But there's, other animal-y folk running around this little forested town. But once you get to the house, Lishani just sort of sighs and looks at Pupper Girl, and you probably need to get back to work, considering that elemental interrupted your recent find, did it not? Oh, right. Where did I put my... And as you come into the house, you see that she has one of those little, it's kind of like a headlamp, the little lights on a band that you stick on your head. But instead of a battery-powered lamp, it's a lamp that seems to be basically a rock with a rune on it that glows. So it meets the same end, it's just without the technology.
Okay.
And she then sort of looks to Mr. Bug Person and... Okay, but she's gonna hang around. I don't have much of the shift left, so I want to be able to talk to her. I'm sure she's gonna stay around. I don't think that she has the energy to really move around very much. That combat was impressive and probably took a lot of it. And then she...
This is a conversation happening right in front of me, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. She just kind of gives them a little bit of a smile and goes, yeah, it was kind of a rough fight. I just need a little bit of a nap and I should be back in good shape.
A nap and a good meal, if nothing else.
Oh, absolutely. That'd be great. There's not an infirmary of any kind in town, is there?
Not really, no.
Okay. Alright. I like to ask. I'm a medic by trade, so I just want to make sure everyone's healthy and taken care of.
Everyone here does fairly well. And then he sort of gives Shidiga a ruffle of hair, which sort of is both a ruffle of hair and a mess of her ears, like you would a dog, because she does have dog ears. And which also messes up the headlamp that she just put on, and she smacks at his hand and then fixes it, and then I'll be back. See ya. And she goes off to do what is apparently some sort of job that she has.
Okay.
Once she's gone, he sort of leads you more into the house proper, and it's actually a quaint little hut. It's somewhere between a small house and a hut or a tent. Um, they have a nice little, like, almost a kitchen area, though it looks like it's designed well enough for surprisingly large meals. And there's like spice racks and all sorts of things. Whoever cooks at this place is like a person who enjoys culinary stuff. um, and
Oh, good.
and there's a little like nook that has it basically amounts to like pictures, like photography, but since they don't have photography, it's actually artwork. It's very reminiscent of Yachin's artwork, Wolichi's older sister, the one that liked to draw things.
Yeah.
It seems a lot of people that you've met and been inside their houses seem to have her artwork that they use as like portraits and pictures and things. And so she's very good and very popular. And the artwork that they have shows basically the Shiriga and Lashani together. And it's like little couple pictures, like, you know, cute little couple pictures. And there's a small, it kind of looks like a rock collection or sort of a collection. There's actually a few precious gemstones in there, just a bit. And you see in some of the pictures with the two of them together, it appears that Shiriga's perhaps some sort of a miner, like goes underground in caves and things like that.
Yeah.
There's like effects of the little effects of like the same spider shrine that you saw. It's in the house a little bit. They're a quaint little couple. It seems to be some sort of priest and a miner. It's a very interesting combination. Once you sort of looked around your house and you turn back to Lashani, he's already getting into mode to actually cook some sort of a meal. He doesn't like lose himself in it, so to speak. He's just very focused on it at first. So if you was to say anything to him, he'd do that, like, I'm working on something, but I am paying attention to you, but I'm not going to look your way, sort of a thing. But yeah, you're free to sort of look around the house or look around the rest of the town and talk to him.
Yeah, I think I will talk to him. Try and figure out some more about the town. So, what do you guys do around here? It looks like, Shiriga is a miner of some kind?
Yes, she goes down and explores the old caves with a few others. Of course, she doesn't go alone, but she goes down with a mining group to see if there's old ore, old gemstones and things. She says she likes to collect them, but it's also a bit of a learning excursion, because in the past, the far past, it was believed that lots of us spider types may have originated from those caves. Or at least, that's what the religious text would tell you. You have your detect emotions thing going, pretty much non-stop anyway. And he doesn't really, he's not aware of it. But you get the feeling that he is phrasing it that way because he thinks that you would find it strange, basically. He not that he assumes you're a skeptic, but rather he assumes that you're not going to be curious about his beliefs or not going to want to be curious about his beliefs, sort of thing.
Okay.
If that makes sense, I probably phrased
Actually,
that weird.
I think I might want to ask about that though.
I mean, that's up to you. It's just his assumption, so he doesn't know you.
Yeah, I get that. Um, I noticed the shrine, and you seem to be some sort of priest, I guess.
Something like that, yes.
Um, I'd like to know more about that if you don't mind. You know, I'm not. I mean, you don't have to give me like a whole sermon, but like, um, just I'm curious. Like everything here is. I. This is gonna sound weird, but like I'm not from here, and everything is sort of really fascinating.
That doesn't seem weird at all. Although, it does beg me a question for you first. Being human, you came from across the sea, yes?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I came across with Lolo and his crew.
That also perhaps explains how you know our language so well.
I actually learned that before I ever got on the ship. I just sort of picked it up from someone that, a village I was visiting had captured, and then she escaped, and I followed her back to her ship and decided to come with, because I guess I'm the only person that tried to talk with her instead of fight her. I mean, I did fight her, but also, like, I'm more of a pacifist than a warrior. I'd rather heal people than injure them.
It's a good trait to have.
I think so.
You're very powerful for someone who desires not to kill.
It's complicated.
You want to protect those around you. I get it.
You'd be surprised be surprised the kind of, things you learn about chakra when you're healing, and it gives you several options to become incredibly and terrifyingly powerful, but also it's hard for me to look at the world around me and the people and to see, it's hard to look around and see humans and Kuchigami and whatever else is out there and not want to help them and, heal them when they're injured and make sure that they can thrive on, in just, there's so much to learn.
Well, you're you're a good kid. I think I will tell you a little bit about our culture and our past, if you're curious enough to learn.
I would be honored.
And he's telling you all this as he's still preparing this meal, and even throughout the story, just so that it's there, there's like, as I said, the kitchen is pretty much prepared and ran by someone who's very much culinary focused, and spices and smells and all sorts of flavors and things. Some most but there are a few in there that are a bit different than what you are used to. Either a spice prepared a different way or something of that sort. And it's similar to when you were in Chin Chin's shop. Those foods you knew, and food you didn't. So his meal is setting up to be something incredibly good. You also there's with your sense chakra, there's a dull aura of chakra throughout his kitchen. So, much like Chin Chin's food, you would assume that whatever meal he prepares is going to be of the chakra restoring nature. He then goes into basically the story and origin of his people and possibly the origins, though slightly different for each tribe, the origins of the Kuchigami, which basically details that, at least with the spiders, their religious texts tell of people who seem to just come into being in the depths of a cave, and they grew and evolved. It was said in the text that it was a creature known as Chihachi.
Okay.
Who basically, for lack of a better way, created or gave birth to these spider people. And they eventually found their way out of the caves and into the forest above, started a tribe, started a town, grew and evolved as a people, and then he sort of trails off at this point because in the old times back then, the tribes didn't really get along. And knowing that you claim to be a pacifist, or that you are a pacifist rather, he doesn't want to tell you the stories of the inevitable war and fight for power and dominance and all this other that happened, which eventually ends with the dragons being, or assumed as the assumed dominance, basically, but did so with relaxing everyone, helping everyone. There was a dragon-born type that wanted the fights to stop. It wasn't that she wanted to control, she wanted the wars to stop, and she put her foot down and tried to get everyone to listen, and that was the first Dragonborn ruler back in several hundreds of years ago. And the dragons have always ruled since. There have been a few good ones and a few bad ones. And each individual tribe has its own story in the past of where they originated from and who it was that brought them into being. As a priest for Chiachi, he doesn't know necessarily the bigger stories of the others. But it is because of people like the current queen and others that have pushed to allow their society to grow more integrated and sort of the melting pot, and allow people to basically choose which town to live in, which area to be, who to be with, and all this and that. Whereas some of the earlier rulers pushed to try to keep the tribes separate. The current one, as you know,
like spiders with spiders and dogs with dogs and stuff like that.
Yep, precisely.
Okay. Well, I mean, it seems nice. You and Shiraga make a cute couple.
Thank you. I'm glad to be around her. She She keeps me from being so serious all the time.
She seems very peppy and excitable.
She is. Especially when she finds something new. And, oddly enough, there have been a few things she's found in that cave that have taught me a thing or two about what I know. So. And then, his story was much more long-winded and maybe a little bit sermon-like, but not in the sense of trying to push a belief on you, but rather, get you to grasp a story. He's not a storyteller, he's a priest. So he has a different way of, telling things and making sure that you are following and understanding. And by the time he's through with it, he has a meal that amounts to something akin to goulash.
Lucky for me, goulash is fucking delicious.
And once he's done, and the meal's been prepared and all this, he seemed to work through it in just the right way that it would be prepared at the end of his story and at about the time Shiori comes back home. So she's not coming to cold food. But I'm assuming you're going to sit down and eat it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be rude not to.
You are currently sitting on 16 chakra. I did do some rolling to figure out what sort of chakra boost you are going to get from this. And this is not like a snack. This is something exquisite. Something, very well crafted and well made. There was, it's that tender love and care that a chef would put into food. And so it is incredibly good. And you are now bumped from 16 to 56 chakra.
My goodness.
It is that good.
Shiori takes one bite and then kind of like pauses, and like you see like a little bit of like a run of like electricity like dance across her like arms and stuff, and she just does a little like, oh wow, that's really good.
Shiori has her mouth slightly stuffed with food or something. Just, what was that? Oh.
What?
I saw a spark.
Oh. Sorry.
And
I tend to crackle a little bit when I'm excited or upset or this is delicious. And you guys know about chakra, right?
He knows more than me, but yeah, kinda.
Okay, so it's basically what I use to do any of my like special stuff, like the lightning strikes I caused earlier. That's all from channeling and like channeling chakra and doing things like that. Being able to create copies of myself, that's all from channeling chakra. Like even the healing I do is based on that. It's sort of like a natural energy that everything has available, and ninjas train in particular to be able to use it to fantastical effects. But the food you guys eat like every day, pretty much as long as I've been here, has been just packed with it. Like it restores chakra. It's amazing. It's very delicious. But yeah, I haven't eaten anything that hasn't like restored my energy like that, and it's really good. I was running pretty low after that fight, but this is this is a lot.
The Shawnee smiles a bit and he goes, hmm.
Maybe it's something to do with the, like, maybe one of your spices is something that we use in, like, chakra restoring medicines. I couldn't possibly pin it down. But it seems it's very helpful, whatever it is.
Let's see. As she sort of finishes up the meal, Shidiga just sort of like it's a little bit like an awkward silence for a bit, though not in the like nervous sort of way, but more in the like there's something more going on, but no one's saying anything. At least between the two of them. And then Shidiga just sort of nudges him, and it's like, well, it's on your mind too. I know. Just tell her. And then.
So I probably have ESP running. What's up?
In Shidiga, it's you get the feeling from her that this reminds her of something. That this is, as weird as it seems, this is not the first time that she's heard something like this. And with the Shawnee, you get the sense that it's something that he was curious about, but at the same time wanted to, that he was sort of feeling you out for. It's as if, basically what it amounts to is as if you're not the first human they've met, and not the first person to tell them something like this before. Especially in reference to his meals, because both of them know that his meals are good. So, but yeah, and eventually he sighs and he's, okay. You said before that you arrived from Lolo's ship.
Yeah.
So you came from across the sea.
I did.
You're not the first human that has found their way here. Though this person, she claims to have the stories that she tells are strange, and she tells that she was once from your continent, and she is human. She claims to have just appeared here, as if some sort of chakra-based magic teleported her here.
Who is this again? I'm sorry. I was slightly being interrupted, but did you say that someone there in that village, or?
They haven't really spoken about where she is, though that she's
Okay.
on this continent somewhere, but they haven't said where she is yet, or if she's even still here. It's as if they're speaking of somebody that they met, sometime in the past. And I am going to say her name is Ikari.
Oh, Akari's a good name.
She appeared here. She arrived under some very strange circumstances. She didn't know anything about us, anything about our culture, and she spoke with us, the few of us that didn't really scare her. Oddly enough, much like you, she seemed to be okay with someone like me. I'd expect you more mundane types to be shunned away with my multiple eyes, but okay. But she ran, and that was maybe several months ago. She appeared here, and then she ran. I know you have your mission for the Queen, and that you must head back. I didn't want to give you something else to keep you away from your home.
What do you mean, keep me away from my home? I'm not going back yet.
No, but I don't know where Ikari is. She could be anywhere on the continent right now. And she was a ninja, like you. She had this visual something. She trapped people in illusions when she felt threatened. She didn't hurt anyone, surprisingly.
Shiori just shudders.
I don't know.
No, it's fine. Did her eyes look different?
So, well, she did have a very unique iris, something that I assumed was something that you humans may have. It was sort of it was red and there was a spiral to it.
Red with a spiral. Sharingan. Shiori pulls out like her Chinatsu's journal, like her medical journal, and flips to the page on like the different eyes and like points to the Sharingan one.
And
like this one.
as soon as it's there and Shiga's looking at it, she goes, "That! It was exactly that."
Yeah. Okay.
And as she does that, she herself is just seemingly in some sort of remembrance. She's just like, "Ugh, it was weird."
Yeah, genjutsu don't feel great. Okay, so was it just one eye or was it both eyes?
It was in both.
Both. Okay, that makes a world of difference.
I haven't heard word of anyone finding her or hurting her or attacking her again. She, without actually hurting anyone, she kept to herself. Or at least that's what I'm assuming, based on she will be hard to find. And I don't think she's aware that a human could find their way here without it being the way she got. At least there's I wish she could speak to us like you would. There's a language gap. And I know a little bit of your tongue myself. And so does a few others. I expect one of those was the one who taught you before. But
I can help teach you if you're interested.
I think that would be best. Yes. That would be something that you could do, and then if we ever came across her again, maybe we could help her.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
If she wants the help. That is. Okay. Well, Um, if you want to get some more rest here, it's still about midday. You can take your nap and head on back to town, I guess. Back to the docking town in Lowell. When was he leaving again?
I'm not sure exactly.
We don't have much in the way of bed around here, says Shiori.
Oh, I'm okay just with the floor. It's not that bad.
You're not really going to be sleeping. It's not dark yet, but then again, you did come
Well,
in the early morning. But
yeah. I was thinking that I could stay around here for a little bit, and then and just stay the night and then go back in the morning, in case there's any more trouble or anything.
right, okay. So you probably work with both of them a little bit to, because having someone like you teach it makes it a little bit easier for Shiori to really get the motivation to try to learn it a little bit. She's much further behind on getting a grasp the common, as it were, human common. But she seems very interested in spending time and talking to you for some reason. You help them through the night, or help them through the rest of the day, and sort of work with them to try to teach them, I guess, English or Japanese, or however you want to put it.
Yeah, just the common language.
The Shani does, he'd mess with it a little bit. He picks it up pretty quickly and gets a bit of a better grasp on it. It's one of those things where the common tongue is more complex than their tongue is. It's easier for you to learn their language than the other way around, if you get my meaning.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes most of the night, and then you're resting there until in the morning.
Yeah. What do I recover from sleep?
You're at full right now.
I'm full right now. Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna be full health, full chakra, because being up to spending a full night and getting a full night's rest, you're good.
Yeah, good. And more delicious food.
Yes, there is more delicious food.
Dinner and such.
Lashani seems to rather enjoy cooking. Though you find that as much chakra and power that seems to be infused into his food, particularly when you get a scrumptious breakfast in the morning, it doesn't supercharge you. It's powerful and the chakra is there. But if you are full chakra and full energy, it doesn't give you any extra.
Yeah. I'm not expecting to get overcharge or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, you never know with as much power is behind it, so.
Fair enough.
You wake up much earlier than they would because you need less sleep. And you're not really going to get any kind of a breakfast until the Shani wakes up. So you're free to do as you please a little bit before they wake up for breakfast.
All right. So I think I just want to go outside and look around and see if anyone else is around.
There are a few folks wandering around on the outside on the village itself. It's fairly early in the morning, considering that you only sleep 4 hours. And it's still barely dusk, like 5 or 6 a.m. So it's like super early, and you just see various different animal folks wandering about doing their own thing. And there's lots of trees, and because you are in a forest, and there does seem to be, realistically, there does seem to be a little bit more spider types in this village. Though there are still other animals, not just spiders or dogs, including linen jaw or bear types. Though you don't see him specifically, you just see another bear. You see a bear person, but it's a girl, a female.
Oh, okay.
She actually seems to be doing this, like, engrossed in what she's doing. She's doing this early morning gathering of some of the herbs and things that are in and around the trees in the forest.
Alright. Shiori's gonna kind of, like, go over to her.
Did she get any kind of coffee when she was outside?
Yeah, actually.
She would probably need that.
Yeah.
Also, Bear Girl is somewhat young, just so you're aware. Actually about your age, like 13, 14, somewhere in that range. Most people,
cool.
Most of the animal types you've seen so far have been more adult.
I keep forgetting I'm just hanging out with older people.
And you seem to be more wise than most of them because protagonist logic.
Fair.
Do you get into your coffee like right outside the door?
Probably. Maybe a little ways away. Like, she's definitely gonna need like water, so she'll probably, grab like her like. I can't imagine she doesn't have like a travel coffee maker, like a French press or something. So she's probably got Yeah. So she's probably like getting that set up and going to find the water, but to put in it. Water sources nearby.
Not in your immediate vicinity. Doesn't seem to be.
Okay.
So
well, also this girl seems like a hunter-gatherer type, so she's probably like, oh, hey, she might know where water is.
All right. So you wander over to her way, and you haven't got your coffee yet because you're still looking for the water and things. And she sort of looks up as you traipse on over to where she is, and she's, oh, hello.
Hi. How are you? My name's Shiori.
I'm fine. My name's Zip. This is an adorable name. She just, my name's Sushila.
Oh. Well, that's actually a really cute name. Do you know where I could get some water? I wanted to make some coffee. It's kind of early.
Yeah. You can. I think you can get some fresh water from the well up near the mine, maybe.
Sure.
My aunt wants me to sort of keep. She keeps saying that there's something wrong with the well water anyway, but it should be fine. You're making coffee? Oh, you're okay. Must be something you wanted to human types. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm human, yeah.
Okay, that explains the stuff that I don't have any idea what it is. It's over here this way. It starts going off this way.
Okay. Alright, she's gonna follow.
Yep.
Yeah. So she's gonna ask, what did you, what were you? I saw you picking some plants. What are you gathering?
Yeah, I'm gonna make some. I gather berries and things to make dyes, and sometimes we use them in spices and all sorts of other things. I help my aunt in her shop, and she actually indicates the shop that she just walked right past. And she's yeah, I help my aunt out in the shop, and so we were getting ready for, get our supplies and things ready for the morning, and being ready for when, people start coming back with their orders and stuff. And your detect emotions thing, she is extremely nervous talking to you.
Aw. Shiori's gonna give her like one of her like calming smiles, and say, well, since you're showing me where the well is, maybe I can help you finish up your gathering if you still have some to do.
Okay. And she leads you over here. It's like the old wells where it was one of these pipes and wells that was deep underground, and you sort of had to churn and pump to get to the water and stuff. Those deep underground kind of wells.
Oh, so it's not like a brick well that you drop a bucket into. It's a pump well. Oh, cool. Okay.
She goes to sort of get to the well to try to get to the water, and it's a bit on the heavy side, and she literally like jumps at it to put her weight into it because and at this point it's fairly obvious, not only is she like close to your age, she's actually close to your height too. She's kind of small.
Oh.
But she is, you do still see the on the backs of her wrists, you see some brown fur, much like Linejaw. And she has like the start of some somewhat sharp-looking claws, but not really because she's still young. So she's sort of pumping at the well vigorously as best she can to try to get you some water. It takes her a bit.
Yeah. Shiori will help if she can, but she doesn't need that much water, so.
But you do eventually.
Before I do anything with the water, so she mentioned offhand that there is something potentially like her grandma thinks there's something wrong with the water.
Her aunt, yeah.
Her aunt, I'm sorry. Can I roll Earth and Life Sciences to like test the water for like any contaminants?
You can.
24?
That's nice.
Yeah, so like pharmaceutical, like I have craft pharmaceutical, which means that I've probably got like chemical testing strips on me to test for like certain substances and things like that, and so like the most basic fucking thing is can I test for if this is clean water, if this is contaminated by like lead or some kind of like heavy metal or something like that.
Well, with the 24 and looking through it, it's not pure water. There is a bit of contaminants to it, but not in the way that it's like very deadly or anything. It has traces of chemicals, sort of not of lead in particular, but sort of the more like earthen mineral variety, but not in dangerous enough amounts that would be potentially harmful. So it's still safe water, it's just not entirely pure water.
Yeah. But it's not got anything like. So I'm expecting there to be minerals, and the pH balance is probably fucked, but it's not. It's not got like lead or mercury or anything like deadly in it.
Nope. Although there is, as with most other things, there is a soft aura of chakra on the water itself. Also, as she said, the well is near a mine, so underneath this, like, nearby tree here, you see the, you know how you can sometimes, it's usually you have a mine inside of a mountain, or something like that, and then it goes deep underground? Here it's more like the quote-unquote, mountain is the very large tree that it's under. It's like somebody's used the gnarled roots of a tree to be the entry point to an actual mine shaft. And it looks very, very deep, just looking at it in passing glance. But you have some water for your coffee.
Yeah, so she's gonna, do her usual, use chakra, heat it up, boil it, make coffee. Nom nom nom.
It smells really
Make
good.
coffee, eat coffee. It's delicious. I can make you some if you like.
Okay. I've never really tried coffee.
Oh. Yeah, Oh, question. Does the chakra content in the water get altered at all by boiling it?
No.
Like, does it still, chakra? Oh, it's the chakra coffee, yes.
Yeah, you get the sense that you've got slightly chakra-infused coffee. Not a whole lot, but it's there.
Nice. Not that I need it at the moment, but... Let's see. Cool. Shiori's gonna go, so you said there was a shop?
Mm-hmm. My aunt's shop over there. And she points to, behind her to the shop here. You're actually at the back of it, so there's no doorway where you are. Unless you just, went under the tarp that is the tent that is the shop.
So yeah, Shiori will share her coffee. And...
One taste of your coffee, and she's just...
Too much?
Maybe a little.
Sorry, this is like a medium for me, but it's super dark for a lot of people, so...
Yeah, I think it needs a little something. I don't know what, though.
My dad always liked really dark coffee, so I just kind of I guess I started taking to that a little more.
Yeah. It's good though. But I can stand to the taste. I might have to go and add some more to the... And she's talking partially to you, partially to herself, partially to the coffee. And heading back towards the shop this way.
Sure. Shiori will go around to the front entrance, actually.
So do you enter the shop itself?
Yeah. Right
Okay.
in there.
The shop is kind of like Chin Chin's, though not as Chin Chin's shop was a shop of someone who has many different kinds of things that they're selling, where it's this one seems to be more focused towards oddly enough, tailoring. It has a bunch of dyes, it has a bunch of starts of yarn from fabric, and then it has like this little sort of like spice rack that seems like it's almost put there as an afterthought, but it's there as well.
Okay.
It's,
Are there any spices that are in particular glowing, or any like plants or anything?
There's none that are glowing because you don't necessarily have sea chocolate, but there is this faint sort of chocolate aura around most of the spices. However, not over the dyes, but just the spices. Walking into the shop. Welcome. I wasn't expecting anyone this. And the voice stops mid-sentence, looking up and seeing you.
Yeah. I'm a little bit of a light sleeper.
The woman before you is a spider type, actually.
Sure is like visibly happy to see more spiders because they're all cute and awesome.
She has the fangs, multiple eyes, similar to the Shawnee. But you see that she's actually got, whereas the Shawnee didn't have these. When you come in, and she's again doing that same thing that the Shawnee was doing. She's focused on her task before she turns to like make eye contact. And you see that she was doing some weaving and dyeing. It's not like as big as the loom was for the other spider tailors you saw, but she has like a primitive version of like a sewing machine or something like it, and she's applying dye while weaving the fabric. And give me a spot check.
Okay.
Yep.
15.
Okay. When she's weaving through the fabrics, you notice that the silk and fabric that she's using is actually coming from her. She has spinnerets in her palms that she's using to weave the fabric. So she's your detect thoughts, detect emotions. She went fairly silent when she realized you were inside. Your detect thoughts gets a sense of like distrust. Does not really seem to trust you as much as some of the others did upon seeing you.
Shiori's just gonna kind of give her like a, just like a smile, like a small smile, and says, your niece helped me, find the well. I appreciate it a lot. I figured I'd come in and see if I could buy anything from you as like sort of a thank you. That fabric looks very pretty, by the way.
Thank you. Do you have our kinds of currency with you?
Yeah, she's just gonna go, not very much, but I'm willing to trade, favors and tasks for, things I need, if that's acceptable.
Let's see. Is there anything of particular interest in here that you would like?
A lot of the foodstuffs around here are fascinating to me because of certain properties that they have. But if I can have just a moment to look around, I don't want to bother you, of course.
You can look around as much as you like. Assuming you stay quiet and don't be trying to find the right kind of word.
No offense, ma'am, but you seem a little distrustful of me, and I'm assuming it's because I'm human. But I won't... I saved your town from a elemental yesterday.
That was you.
Yeah. I'm not trying to boast or anything. I just, I don't want harm to come to anyone. So, if there's anything I can do to settle your concerns, I would like to.
I see. Well, are you afraid of the dark?
Not at all.
I see. And I believe you've already met with Shidaga as well.
Oh yeah, she's delightful.
Indeed. Very energetic.
Mm-hmm. And Lashoni as well. He's quite a good cook.
He is indeed. We need to get him to make a few more meals for us again. If you go down and help in the mines, there was something discovered there recently that seemed to be of particular interest, and maybe you can help with that.
Sure. Sure.
In return, I'll perhaps leave you something nice. Better than whatever those robes you have there on. And, yeah. She also doesn't seem to like the robes you were wearing either. Just as a side note.
Oh. Like the ones I got from...
Mm-hmm. I think you found a tailoring spider rival.
Oh. I find that adorable, but... yeah.
And then, little, Hushila then shows up behind the counter and, gives her aunt some of the, herbs and things. And here, Auntie, here's all your stuff that you were wanting me to gather today. I still have some things to get, and I was going to go... Oh, hi! Hi, Shiori! And she waves at you from the other side of the counter.
Hi.
Yeah, I was gonna go get some of the other stuff, and so do we have any like sugar or something left? One of the sweeter spices? Aunt raises an eyebrow. Yes, I do believe. Why? And there's this like younger kid has an idea but doesn't want to say everything. It's very clear to you, Shiori, that she's wanting to get some of the sweet spices to go into the coffee that you have for her, so she can make more of it. Yeah. You're still looking around the shop, I believe?
Yeah. Do I see anything, like, I guess clothing-wise that's interesting?
She seems to have, a very particular style about her. It seems that she can do some pretty intricate, an interesting pattern with the way that she applies dyes and weaves. Whereas the previous tailors that you had a degree of functionality and beauty in color, hers is less about the actual colors and more about the individual patterns. So it's as if one was doing artwork that's, direct, while hers is more abstract.
I guess like some kind of accessory, like a scarf or like like something like that.
Yeah, scarves.
Ooh, wait, hold on. Can I show her my fans, like my Tessen, and do you think she can make a new screen for it, like a new fabric for it?
That would be interesting.
Yeah, see if she could make like something really like, I don't know how I'm gonna pay for this. She's like, these are all really pretty. I think they'd look good on fans. Do you have you ever seen a fan screen before?
She sort of tilts her head at you. She's curious. I don't think so.
Here. She pulls one of them out and like sets it on the like you said there's like a counter, right? Yeah. So she sets it on the counter and like spreads it out and shows her like the screen on the thing, which Shiori's are just like plain. Like they're probably like black with like white speckles or something like that. But there's a lot of opportunity.
Yeah. Let's see. May I? And she goes to.
Absolutely.
You realize now that, at least in the sense motions thing, that she's gotten to be a little bit more trusting. It seems the unrest didn't necessarily come from entirely simply the fact you're human, but more so also from the rivalry. From another
village, and also wearing someone else's, like someone she knows, I imagine, wearing their clothes, and she's just like, oh well, I already don't like you.
Yeah, something like that. I suppose I could find this is very interesting. Do you use this as a weapon?
I do, yes. I try not to use weapons too often. I have a rather wide range of, I guess, abilities, and she's just gonna like do the crackly hands thing again.
You shoot lightning? Really?
You just watched me boil water.
But I thought you.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that.
We gotta gather more things, dear. She'll be out there to meet you later, right? Sheila just. Okay. And she makes her way back outside. She has now found some sort of sweetener to put into the coffee to make it tolerable, and is enjoying it as she goes out.
Aww.
So, she's... I believe I can make something like this. Now, you also realize that, much like the blacksmith and the grandmother tailor, this is one of the older...
She doesn't have a name, does she?
Not the ones that she would want to give, no.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Shiori's gonna recognize that she's not that she's one of the older ones and say my name's Shiori. You don't have to give me yours if you don't.
Let's see. So you already understand that aspect of us, I see.
I've kind of come to several conclusions. The most obvious one, I'm sure you already know.
I appreciate that.
No problem. Like I said, I don't want to cause any trouble.
But you are a fighter. A fighter with...
I'm a medic. I'm a medic that's very adept at defending herself and her friends.
It's a good trait to have for a medic, isn't it?
Yeah, not such a great trait to have for a pacifist.
Are any of us really pacifists? I'm sure all of us would have somebody we feel like we should protect.
Yeah, I just wish that... Well, it's...
Anyway, I think I can. I think I'll make you something. Go down into the mines and help some of the others down there. And, be careful. There's...
I will.
Give me a, one more spot check.
One more spot check.
And I think this is actually where I'm gonna...
Bap, that's an 11.
Okay. That's just barely under, and I really want you to see it. If you don't mind, spend you an action point.
Action point! 1!
Good enough. It was actually a 12.
Yeah.
You're still...
That action point fucked me, but it was worth it.
She's sort of looking over your fan, and it's not nearly as, prominent as some of the stuff that you do, but, you do see, and you get the sense from your, sense emotions thing, that she has completely switched from having a she went very, very 180. She started not trusting you and having a feeling that you were some sort of a spy or something, trying to steal designs, and now all of a sudden she's gotten something kind of like admiration for you. She's impressed. And as you watch her move her hands over the fan to sort of look it over, you catch just the barest hint of that same sort of lightning chakra spark throughout her hands, just like you get.
I see.
I think I can do something with this.
Alright then.
Go out with this Sheila. She could... You gave her coffee.
I may have shared some of my coffee, yes.
Be prepared to
It's
chase
still early, it'll wear off.
Be prepared to chase her around town. I hope you're fast.
I mean, I'm okay.
Alright. And she goes back to her weaving as she was doing. She sort of takes your fan and sets it to the side, but she's finishing up what she was working on when you came in the door.
Okay. So I'm going into this without my Tessin.
Well,
Just mark that.
For a while.
Oh boy,
Good thing you hardly ever used it.
let me just
right?
mark that. I mean, it's my favorite weapon, but I can also use the battle wire, so...
So I think I will officially end it here. We will do a sign out. I'll give you the first half.
Okay. This has been Naruto: A New World.
Join Shiori next week when she goes and explores a spider mine.
Yay.